Good morning, everybody. So, you're gonna get a little sunlight beaming down on me. I'm gonna look angelic. But we just weighed in. You guys saw that. And we are at 356.4. So from last week, we lost 2.4 pounds. Overall, I'm down 43.4 pounds. Thrilled with it. It's awesome. You know, every loss is good, and I'm happy for that. Sorry if I don't seem too excited, but today's subject, like I talked about, we're going to talk about mental health on the channel. And I had a lot of questions about how I got to the point of being 400 pounds, and people wanted to know. Trigger warning, I may get emotional. I'm going to be totally honest and open with you, and that's why this channel is here. So, my weight issues, I've always been heavier. I mean, you guys have seen that from when Lauren and I did keto, things like that. When I went in for surgery, I weighed about 200 and I believe I was around 295 or so, and that was in August of 2018. Basically, how this happened was August 2018, went in for surgery, had my appendix removed and had some bowel reconstruction done. And the reason for that is my bowels were actually, and it's something we didn't know, when they went in to do my appendectomy, the doctor noticed my bowels were twisted, and he went in and fixed them. Recovery time from a normal appendectomy is about a week, 2 weeks. For this one, I have like a little C-section scar, for lack of a better term, and the recovery time was about a month for this surgery. Did the hospital thing, did everything, was out of work for about a week or so, just with the surgery, and then a week or so for recovery, and I went back early. And the reason for that was, at my job, it was renewal season, so I wanted to make sure we didn't fall behind, we didn't do anything terrible there. Well, I went back August 14th, I do believe, and then this whole time, my uncle, who was my father figure in my life, was battling lung cancer. He chose not to do the chemo route, do anything like that, and that was just because he saw too many bad stories with chemo. So he was battling that at the time, and to be honest with you, we could tell that things were not going well. So I'm at work with that on my mind, trying to recover from surgery, dealing with some other things with work, which we'll talk about later down the line here. And then on August 28th, I believe it was the 28th or 29th, it was towards the end of August, he did pass. And that was a big blow for me emotionally. Essentially, work would not give me the time off. So when he passed, I got a half a day off and had to be right back to work. And that was tough. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, being back at work was good because I got to work through I had other focuses. But with that being said, I mean, it's tough to lose, and people didn't understand because they didn't know my background, where I worked or anything like that. They just saw me being emotional and thinking, they just didn't understand. So yeah, I mean, pretty much at that point, I lost my father figure, the guy that was with me. You know, he used to take me to the mall with his friends and buy me a cookie while we were there. And funny story with that, and he always liked to tell this one. We were at the cookie, and I told him I want a cookie, and he said no, or I need a cookie is what I told him. And he said, no, you want a cookie. No, I need a cookie. And this argument went on, and he was trying to teach me something. He wasn't being harsh or anything like that. And he said pretty much what happened, and I don't remember this because I was younger. I was probably like 3 years old, maybe. And he said that the lady in front of me heard us going back and forth, bought the cookie for me, and I just stared at him like, you're terrible. But he was trying to teach me something, and honestly, he's a big reason why I like to use my manners now. Lauren makes fun of me sometimes because whenever I order food, it's please, thank you, and that kind of thing. And that's something I try to instill in Ella. When she asks for something, she has to say please or thank you. Just something I was taught. Taught me how to play sports, watch sports with me, and I watched him work every single night. He wasn't feeling good. He still got up and went to work. So he taught me my work ethic. And the thing about it, him and my aunt were my godparents. They still are my godparents. But he took I won't say an oath, but pretty much he took being my godparent to heart and did his best for me. And I'm forever grateful. I mean, he taught me so much. And I have a little picture here too. But that's him and I when I was really little. That's probably about 2 years old. That was a huge blow for me. And I think that started the deep depression, which if you guys kept up with Lauren's channel, you didn't get to see. I tried to put on my best face. Lauren got to see it, and she helped me through a lot. That was probably the toughest part of my life, was that. And that attributed a lot, because there was a hole there, mentally. And I tried to fill it with food over the past 2 years. And that's kind of when we went away from keto and things like that, because I couldn't sustain it. And I blamed keto for being too hard mentally, things like that, but that really wasn't the case. I was fighting other demons. And from there, continued to work, and there were some bad experiences at work with customers, things like that. Anybody that knows me knows I am really against the R word based on being a father of a special needs child. And there were people that came in face to face and used it, and over the phone that used it. And it just wore on me. Every single day we were getting cussed out or cussed at because people's bills were high. And it's, I tried to look at it like they're not coming after me, they're coming after the establishment, things like that, but it was impossible. It felt every time I answered the phone, I was having anxiety over, am I going to get cussed out? Because of course we can't say anything back because we're professionals. And that really hurt me, honestly. There's people I know that would call in, not realizing it's me, and would say hurtful things. But that wore on me over time and caused depression, and essentially just, again, I filled it with food. Dessert every night. A typical order at a fast food restaurant would be 4 sandwiches, large fries, soda. I was probably downing 2,000 to 3,000 extra calories just in soda, like a 2 liter a day. And it just wasn't healthy. And again, Lauren helped me through a lot of it. And there's things Lauren doesn't know. Went through work, did all of that, came home, and thinking things would be 20 times better. But as a man, I lost my direction. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And it felt like Lauren was taking on the burden of taking care of the family financially, physically. That took its toll too. And I continued the trend of filling it with food. And many people will say, oh, you're just complaining, you're blah, blah, blah. It hurt for me because I took care of Lauren and Ella for 7 years financially. Of course, we had help. To go from being the provider to being provided for really sent me over the edge. And probably 3 to 4 times a week, I cried myself to sleep. And men, I know there's a stigma with sharing these things, but it is what it is. I told you guys I'm going to be open and honest. And probably 3 to 4 nights I cried myself to sleep. And just kept replacing that void with food, nonstop. And finally, that made me want to change was, again, we've talked about it, but weighing in and seeing that 400 pounds pretty much on that scale really changed my perspective of I need to lose weight. I need to be here for my family. And mentally, it pulled me out of that rut. I had something to focus on. I had something that I needed to change. And the beauty of it is I gained you guys. I was able to put it out there, and I'm going to continue to put it out there. You and my family changed my life. So thank you. Thank you for that. You have really helped me mentally, physically, and that's a great thing. I'm indebted to you guys for that. So thank you. Those were the main things that contributed to my weight gain, and I could not think clearly until I finally got into a position where my back was against the wall. And then I started to think about my own mortality and how I could work on changing that. You know, not to be the Debbie Downer, but thank you for listening to this. I appreciate it. And as for my father figure, my Uncle Johnny, you know, I hope I'm making him proud. I hope I'm making my family proud. And I hope I'm making you guys proud. Just remember, we got this. Thank you for always being here. Hey, you want to say hi to everybody on Daddy's channel? Did you know Daddy has a channel?
No.
Yeah, Daddy has a channel. Is that Uncle Johnny?
Uncle Johnny.
You remember Uncle Johnny?